What's going on, fam? It's your boy Nico Fleeks. Y'all tired of me yet? Well, the thing is, you shouldn't be, because I'm the one that's gonna keep on reminding you that you are the creator, you are the architect, you are the master of your own life. We gotta let go of the slave mentality. We just have to do that. We've been conditioned, we've been indoctrined to basically be the slave. We have to let that go, okay? The elites, they're trying to stop us from getting on top because they instilled the mentality in you to be a slave, right? Not literally, but figuratively, okay? And I want to talk about the slave mentality. My definition of the slave mentality is when you accept, okay, conditions, whether it's harmful conditions, less than favorable conditions, you accept the conditions as the natural order, okay? These are unfavorable conditions. These are situations, circumstances in which you do not want to be in, but you still accept it as the way it's supposed to be, as the natural order. My guys, the lives that we're living in today is nowhere near the natural order. We need to break free from the slave mentality. A lot of us are slaves in many different ways. You know what I mean? And a lot of us, really all of us, are susceptible towards these behaviors, okay? Whether it's you a slave to your own body, you're a slave to your own impulses, you're a slave to your own desires. Some people are slaves to money, right? Even rich people can be slaves, okay? Just a slave is not only someone that doesn't have no money or doesn't have no ownership to anything. A slave can be somebody who seems like they have it all, but yet they are literally in shackles. They're in shackles behind the things that they feel as though makes them higher power. They are in shackles towards the things that makes others even perceive them as superior, right? So the CEO might be a slave to that very money that sets him at the top of the totem pole, all right? Or you could be a slave to vices. I see more and more people every day vaping. I'm seeing a vape pen in everybody's hand nowadays. That's bad. That's not healthy. You can become dependent on these things, you know, alcohol, drugs, weed, whatever. This is a slave mentality. Being dependent on something is also a slave mentality, okay? And a lot of these things might feel good at first, right? You know, chasing the money to no suffice, the insatiable need or craving to engage or indulge in harmful activities such as overeating, such as laziness, such as promiscuity on a female's end, such as doing things that aren't good for you. It gets to the point where when you start dabbling in harmful activities, you start to like low-key crave it even more, okay? It becomes something that you cannot quench. It's a thirst that you cannot satisfy. The more you do harmful things to you, the more you depend on it, and you become a slave. You become a slave of your own making. You become a prisoner with bars that you manifested. So it's a real issue, and I deal with this a lot too myself, right? I tend to be a workaholic. I feel like I'm a slave to my own work ethic sometimes, to the point where when I know I need to relax, I'm like, I cannot relax. Like when it's time to rest my head on the pillow, I'm still on go mode. Even when I feel as though that, everything is okay around me, it's almost like I nitpick at certain things that aren't more than ideal, right? And it bothers me. So I'm just constantly on 100%. I'm constantly on 10. I'm constantly going, and that's actually a detriment to myself. And that's something I need to work on personally. We all have things that, can be an inhibition towards whatever it is that we actually want out of life. And I believe that it feels good to dabble with things that make us feel good short term, like, just being lazy when you're supposed to be not lazy, like overeating when you're full, like smoking that joint when you know that you probably could get drug tested anytime at the job, things like that, self-destructive ass behavior, yo. Like, that is slave mentality, man. That's the opposite of freedom. It feels good at first. It feels like freedom at first, but in reality, it's like you're taking away. It's the opposite of freedom. It's the opposite. It's slavery, you know? And that's actually just what it is. I feel as though we need to pay closer attention to the littlest things that we do in life, because every building was built brick by brick, you know? We can turn around and say, oh, wow, what a lovely monument that was built. Wow, that looks so beautiful. But we don't think about the small increments, the small little segments of, you know, all of the bricks that were laid brick by brick by brick by brick, which over time turned into a beautiful structure. And that is life. It needs to be built brick by brick by brick, very carefully. Everything needs to be aligned carefully, right? It's not rocket science. It's not some sort of code that needs to be cracked. It's very, very simple, right? Brick by brick by brick. Carefully align it, and over time, you'll be able to look back and say, man, we came a long way. Like, this looks beautiful. Like, look how far we've come. And I say that to say this. Even small leaks can getting twisted. Even small leaks can sink a ship. And that's to say that whenever you fall short on even the little smallest things, all we can do is just look back, right, on some introspective stuff and say, look, we messed up on this thing. Let's work on this. Let's fix it immediately, right? Nobody's asking you to be perfect, right? Like, let's just be realistic. We have to be realistic. No one is perfect on this earth. No one. But we could always look back and pay attention to the things that we have done wrong and correct it where it needs to be corrected. And over time, you'll find that your life kind of comes together because you're working on the things immediately and urgently, the things that you know need to be worked on. You're not ignoring it. You're not procrastinating, right? And some of the things that we really need to work on is our bad habits and the shackles that are on each and every one of our bodies. Like, I swear to God, nobody's perfect. Everyone has something that is literally hindering them from reaching the goal that they actually want to achieve. Everyone has something going on in their life that is voluntary, that is self-done, right? That is self-inflicted. Everyone is doing something to themselves that is not good or conducive towards what they want out of life. And that is just factual. That is factual. Like, there's no other way around it. There's no other way to put it. No matter which way you want to slice it, a lot of us, and probably each and every single one of us, is a slave to something. Just let it go. Just let it go. Because the moment that you let go of that very thing that you might be a slave to, your life will probably get 1,000% better. Not probably, definitely. You know? You just have to find out what it is that thing is. What it is that is actually holding you back. And once you figure that out, man, I believe that a lot of doors and portals will open up for you, you know, in the life that we live in, right? So let's just pay attention to that. Let's be very cognizant of that and aware of that. A lot of the stuff that I say to you guys, I think about on a daily basis. I think about 24/7. You know, like, philosophy is something that should be encouraged, and I think that they need to start teaching this stuff in school, right? And they need to start implementing these things as a standard for American school criteria and curriculum, because frankly, a lot of people live in just nothing land. Like, they're just told what to do. They're just swayed in any direction. Like, wherever the wind blows them is the direction that they're going to go towards. And that's also another example of slave mentality. whenever you just don't have a real way of thinking for your own self, like something that you have actually subscribed to, something that you have adopted and created this philosophy, right? And certain laws about life, you really can't move as a real human being. You really can't move as the true sovereign of your life, because you are swayed by everyone else. You cannot live a true free life if you let the system just blow you in any direction. You need to adopt a philosophy that works for you. You dig what I'm saying? That's why I speak about a lot of these things. This stuff ruminates and it consumes my brain 24/7. And that's why I can't wait to get on the camera and talk to you guys about stuff like this. Like when I go on my nature walks and things like that, I love talking to you guys about philosophies that I, think about in my head and all of that type of stuff. It really helps us put our thoughts together, solidify the things that go on in our brain and actually implement it into our lives. Excuse me. I believe that's incredibly important. They need to start teaching these kids about philosophy, because it's the best way that we can maneuver our way through life with set structure, which is the reason why religion is so incredibly popular. It's essentially just a guideline and a set of rules for humans to live in. And it's something that really gives us a lot of comfort, because let's just face it, all of us as human beings, we just need a purpose. We need a way to live. We need a set way to live in order to not feel like just life is chaotic, in order to feel grounded, in order to feel as though we are doing the right thing and moving towards the right direction, guys. And one of the first things that us as men need to realize is it's really easy for us to fall into a slave mentality, because that's what the elites want from us. They want us to be in servitude. They want us to be docile. They want us to be controllable. Listen, guys, whenever you break free from whatever invisible shackles you have, you don't even have to be actually locked up in a real penitentiary, guys. In reality, okay, you can actually create shackles on your wrist of your own making. Okay. And it's hard to commiserate with people that don't understand this on a fundamental level, because it gets to the point where you might feel like you're barking up the wrong tree, because some people, you try to instill knowledge into them and they just can't accept it. They're just dense like a boulder, man. It's like they're just looking right through you, man. You ever seen someone, you ever tried to talk some sense into just a unruly person, and you can tell that whatever gems you're trying to drop on this person's lap, you can tell they're just not accepting it. They just give you that cold stare, like they're looking right through you. It's disgusting, guys. And I know that none of my watchers, none of my viewers, are so dull, so dense, okay? Because this is a channel where we come to actually think about real stuff and not just consume garbage, brain rot content. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say for this video, guys. Remember, let's drop the slave mentality, man. The moment we do that, we'll finally be free. It'll allow more doors to open up for us. The moment we drop these shackles, man, let yourself be free. Let go of those vices, man. Take care of your health. If you got a side gig that you wanted to get started on, do it immediately. Be urgent about it. That boss man at work, man, don't let him rule your life, man. Go do that 9-to-5 job, come back home and start working on your own hustle, bro. If you want to lose weight, bro, go to the gym. You can do it, man. I 100% believe in you. We can really do this. Whatever that is holding you back, bro, I truly believe in you, man. Just drop those shackles. You have the key right now in your pocket. Right there in your pocket, man. Go ahead and reach in your pocket and unlock them shackles from your wrist, and go ahead and live your life your way. Stop letting other people be the boss to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I truly believe in that. And I had to tell myself for many years in my 20s, I had to tell myself these very same ethics, these very same guidelines. I had to look myself in the mirror and tell myself that many, many times over, until it got to the point where I actually could not believe it. There is no way for me to disbelieve it because I reprogrammed my own brain. And I believe that if you feel that you wake up feeling unmotivated, well, first off, motivation isn't even real. You need to depend on discipline. Okay, that's why you might feel motivated to, do a certain thing that might be conducive towards greatness in your life. For example, you might want to start going to the gym, or you might want to, start being serious about saving money. You might want to be serious about, finding a better job, things like that. You're finally ready to take the next leap. But then you might wake up, a week from now and all the motivation is gone. Hell, it might not even last a week. Sometimes the motivation might be gone by the next morning. The key is, man, stop depending on the motivation, because frankly, it ain't even real. What we need to do is actually set a promise to ourselves. Look at yourself in the mirror and promise yourself that you will fulfill whatever task that needs to be done in order to do this, no matter what, even on the days where you don't feel like it. All right, guys. Now that's all I'm gonna say actually this time. But if you're new to this channel, guys, again, my name is Nico Fleeks. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and drop a comment down for your boy. I'm excited to see what y'all got to say in the comments. Let's get it. Oosh!